First flight of the Algo Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery's core computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
How's it going, everyone? All right, it is 10 o'clock on the dot. I never do that. I'm always like a minute early or a minute late. So tonight we are going to be talking about cryptos, NFTs, and if anybody does have their own NFTs that they are doing or their favorite cryptos that they like, don't hesitate to come up and talk about it. Let's see, we got Can't Stop coming in on YouTube. I know this is an NFT thing, but can we please slightly, just for a bit, touch on how GME went from 177 yesterday to touching 202 today and closing green? Yeah, I think that's kind of epic, actually, that it did kind of just run today. I was pretty happy to see that. Like, I didn't watch the market too much. I was dealing with a little bit of stuff. So we're getting a storage space for our RV. And come to find out, the mechanic shop that he's been sitting at for 9 months, they are unable to fix him, and they're just now telling us. And their property got bought and all this other stuff, so we had to move them. And so today we were dealing with that mess. So yeah, that was my day. But yeah, no, it was phenomenal to see that GameStop was closed green today. It was pretty awesome. All right, so to the matter of tonight. So I do know, this is actually kind of fun. I'll start off with some crypto because my husband has been tracking Algo, for a while. We've talked about that. You guys have heard him talk about it. And it like went over $2 yesterday. Like it was sitting at like I think he said 260 or 230 today. It ran. So, and he got in at 70 cents. So he's been watching this little coin just kind of run, and it's been really phenomenal. And and that's what he's been really working on, the NFTs that are using Algo. And it's, I don't know, check it out. It is the utility and everything that Algo's gonna have, and places that are already using it, I think is really like helping that little coin. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just excited for him. Like he definitely could definitely talk more about it. But I wish you guys could have seen like his little happy dance that he did today, or actually it was yesterday, when it went over $2. It was pretty great. But then we do have some NFTs. I do know that Dead Crazy had to take some time off. If you haven't seen his work, check it out. He's been adding more and more and more, which has been phenomenal. Turbo and the Nifty group, they've just been pumping out their live action NFTs like none other, and they're just so cool. I hope you guys have actually looked into those. They have been phenomenal. Uh, and I got word today they had to ask for a one sentence bio for my little um, NFT ape, which is gonna be really fun. I'm really curious to see what it looks like. I don't know if they're gonna use like toothless or if they're gonna use some of my updated picture with the sunglasses. So it'll be interesting. I'm really curious for it. Um, oh, Lady's joining us. Let me see if I can add her. Hi, Lady. How are you?
Tonight.
We're good. Yeah, I was just covering Algo. It was the first crypto I got to, and I don't know if you remember when Tyler got into it, um, being at 70 cents or whatever, it like went over $2. It hit over $2 yesterday and it was like ran to like 230 or 260. I'll have to re-ask him today.
Well, congratulations. That's great.
Yeah, it's just so much fun.
Exciting.
So if only if our beloved little Safemoon could do the same damn thing.
That thing, I swear. I'm stuck now. I even forgot where I bought it from. I had to text you.
Yeah, that was great. You're like, where did we buy that from? And so for you guys that know, this was before it was on Gate.io and a few other places. And so we bought it on Bitmart, and it was a fiasco trying to buy on Bitmart. And, like we had to, like, how did I have us do it? We had to
You had
Bitcoin
to buy
and
a
cash.
coin. Yeah.
We had to do Bitcoin and Cash App uh, transfer it from Cash App to Bitmart because of the BNB coin being down, and it was like this hard thing to borrow against and everything. And going through Binance was just going to be a fiasco. And so I'd found this really long ass way around to getting Safemoon back in March. And so I was like, it's so explaining it was such a mess. But yeah, so you had to buy Bitcoin
I'm
and
not
Cash App.
recommending a coin trade
No,
on Bitmart.
this is not to go to Gate.io for Safemoon. Actually, their wallet should be going live anytime soon. So yeah, we had to go through Cash App, go through from Cash App to Bitmart, and then we had to transfer the Bitcoin into USDT, and then take the USDT and move it into SafeMoon. It was a complete and utter mess, but we did it. Like there were people that were like, I can't buy SafeMoon because there's no BNB and BNB, Binance is down and all these other things. And we're like, oh yeah, we had no problems after we figured out the million step process. And I will say I'm like sitting at 18 million coins, and I think we only put like what $75 in or something like that. Like it wasn't. I don't even remember actually now. I think maybe it was 65 or $75. Like, and we got a crap ton. We're just sitting on it. I told her I was like, just forget about it. Just forget about it until I find out something interesting, and I'll be like, okay, now we can sell. um, but I don't know. Like I like the little safe moon. I like how their little project's going because it's um, they're gonna have their wallet and their own trading platform, and it's an interesting way to do it. Sorry, my daughter is awake now. Sorry. But yeah, so their platform and everything that they're trying to do in general, you'll have that same 10% tax whenever you sell. And so what ends up happening, and this will go for every coin, whether it's Ethereum, Algo, Cardano, anything like that, or sorry, ADA. And so then uh, what ends up happening is, so if you when you sell your coins on their platform, 5% will go into a liquidity pool, and 5% will be also dispersed to the people that are still holding those coins on those wallets. And so you'll actually get interest on every coin essentially that you hold on their wallet. So I mean, it's a fascinating project for sure.
Does anybody want to come up and join us? Talk to us? Have any questions?
Yes, we actually have Hunt and Ape. What's going on?
Yeah, so I was trying to do that same thing with the Safemoon, and it's just trying to go into Binance. Okay, so which Binance coin was it? There's two of them you can buy. You had to buy the correct one to transfer it out. I opened up like 7 different accounts, different wallets, trying to figure things out, and it failed. But the question is, you said it was Gate.io is the new place or the best place to get into this thing now?
Yeah, Gate.io, Gait.io, is they got listed on that wallet. I think in April or May. It was a kind of a big deal because a few of the people within our group they were sketched out by Bitmart, and I don't blame them. Bitmart is it's clunky and weird to say the least. But Gate.io, everyone's pretty familiar, and it's easy. It has great charts and everything and tools that they have. Once I am like I thought about transferring it to Gate.io, but the minute I thought about transferring mine from Bitmart to Gate.io, Safemoon was like, haha, surprise, we're going to uh, do our own thing over here and make it completely amazing. And it's I think what's been really fascinating with Safemoon is the creators, the dev team, and the CEO and stuff. Like they're a young team, and they're learning as they go, which I think is kind of it's raw. Like you never really get to see that. You never get to see the progression of a company and them learning from their mistakes and things because I will never forget they have their announcements on Twitch, and one of the first announcements podcasts whatever they had these giant water bottles, these glass water bottles, um and they were drinking from them during it, and people in the chat were like, stop using the bottles and everything, like this is craziness and whatnot. And so the next one they actually had cups, they actually had, or mugs or something, they actually would pour their water in there and drink out of that, and they were like, we're taking all of your guys' information and critiques and everything, and we're trying to enable them, so it's pretty cool. And hold him for Harambe. I know I'm hosting a space while the Bucks are on. I'm sorry. This is just my time. They played a game during my podcast time, so we're just gonna blame it on the Bucks tonight. I'm trying to get Citadel up here. Citadel Air. Any other questions, Hutton?
No, like I said, I just went through. I've got this whole notebook pad full of different accounts I had to create to try to get to this thing, and it just never came to fruition. I even bought a offline wallet and trying to figure that thing out. It's just like, yeah. Hopefully it doesn't pop off before I can get into it, but I'm gonna try to get into it now and see what this thing is about. But I appreciate your assistance.
Yeah, not a problem. I try to look out for their wallet too. Get on Safemoon's website. But yeah, Gate.io, you shouldn't have too many problems with it. I know, and that goes for people in Canada and a few other countries. That I know people who are using Gate.io, so it's pretty user friendly, and the app is really nice too. It's not just web based; they have a nice app. Um, yeah, it's
So
you have to let me know because I think it just dipped down pretty good last I looked. So because I think some of the there's been some major whales back from March, April timeframe, and they've been just kind of dumping their wallets, which is good for the people that are holding, because you do get that disbursement back into your own wallet every month or every week, however your wallet does it. So it's been nice.
well, I will add that I learned a lesson. So I was out doing my thing with my friends, and somebody mentioned Dogecoin I back in the beginning of the year. I was like, kind of blew it off. Kind of blew it off. I think it was in a right at the beginning. Point to add 10 zeros and a one.
Yep, that was me.
Bought into it. I'm just like, Next thing you know, and it started hitting the mainstream. Like, okay. So I've jumped in. I've made some money on it, but I didn't make the money that I would have made had I, gotten into it. But say la vie, it is what it is. No looking back.
Yep, Doge. That's kind of the funny thing within the community and me, because I got into Doge back when it was like, maybe like a month or two old, 2014 roughly. We traded it on and off throughout the years. So yeah, I actually bought almost all of my AMC and GME shares with my Doge profits back in January, February, and just kind of added to it with the Doge that I kept flipping. I know the Doge holders, if anyone's in there, I'm sorry, but no, I do mine Doge now. Because my Doge was in Robinhood. Guess, okay, I understand. I feel the tomatoes and everything, everyone hitting me with them. I get it. But this was actually before, it really can't. I mean, we kind of knew that you didn't own your coin in Robinhood. We kind of understood that at that point. And so how I'm looking at it now is that I've released my Doge. They're just kind of free at the moment. They're out on a farm running free until I can adopt them back. That's how I'm kind of putting it until I get them in. Like we have our cold storage wallet and everything. So
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you. So you said GAITIO.com?
yes, well, no, it's GAIT.io is one of the good wallets that I know of.
Okay.
And they have a lot of the different altcoins, like Algo, ADA. I mean, all of them. You can pretty much find SHIB. I mean, all of them are on there. It's kind of ridiculous.
All right, cool beans. And second question I have for you, with the tax situation, I know Janet Yellen and the whole crew up there is talking about uh, monitoring or controlling this type thing, regulating it. Does the tax piece of this not? I know it's not tax advice. Does that apply capital gains wise, long term, short term, to the crypto thing? If you know off the top of your head.
Yes, you do have to pay taxes on crypto. I've held crypto for so long. Like I never really paid attention to the short term, long term. Jeremiah is coming up and saving my ass right now. He is my crypto god. Hey Jeremiah, can you answer that question?
Taxes, yeah, crypto does fall into same capital gains taxes as securities, but it also theoretically has additional taxes attached to it because it's seen as a digital asset as well, a digital value asset. So, along with capital gains, you also would pay or are supposed to claim and pay taxes for any crypto that you flip that exists within an exchange and isn't fully removed to your wallet as well. But as long as you're not moving like over 10,000, it's not going to be likely reported by the exchange either. So there's kind of like some gray area there.
Well, my hands are too soft to go to jail, so I pay. But then again, they might like soft hands. I don't know. I don't want to find out.
Thank you, Jeremiah. I actually didn't know that. I just, I get my taxes and I just read them and I put them in because I do well, this year I won't be because my taxes are going to be a mess this year. But I've always done my own taxes. So I just read, I plunk in the numbers on the boxes that it tells me to. And then at the end of the whole mess, I'm like, okay, I either owe or I don't owe. That's, yeah.
I'm totally with you. That's how I used to do it, TurboTax things. But based on with the new business I've opened up and seeing all the things on how things worked and how they work up at the upper levels, if this thing kicks off the way it in theory should kick off, and I know we're talking NFTs and crypto, but the other investments, with the
Yeah,
potential
no, you're
MOAS.
fine. You're fine. Yeah.
Okay, so with the typical potential MOAS, the TurboTax is for the people who have not made that much. You need to have your good tax lawyer. That's the thing. That's my takeaway from it. You've got to have somebody who's in the know because TurboTax is not going to tell you about 1031s or flipping all this stuff and doing those tax loopholes. It is what it is. I'm with you, or we're with you now. I gotta with you.
Oh no,
Go
I'm
to
I'm right with you. I'm right with you now too, because that's actually something I tell everybody, and whether you're in crypto, whether you're with the MOAS, especially with the MOAS, if you're favorite people that you need to be contacting is one, your bank, two, an accountant, and three, an attorney. Like those people need to know what the hell's going on because they know more than we do. So, yeah, I'm right there with you.
yeah. So I take the lead. Just to let you know. So listening to the crew up there and they're talking about 1031s, I was like, okay, that piqued my interest. I noted. Then they made a mention of 1031s again. I'm like, okay, now you really got me interested. Third time is a charm. Went to go pull it up. Are you kidding me? wow, that's how they do it. Again, TurboTax doesn't deal with 1031s. They don't deal with that kind of money. If you got to add commas to your tax return, yeah, those are the three people you need to get to know.
Yup, 100%. And so, um, the reason I say your bank, guys, and some people don't know this, is that sometimes, like, if you go to transfer your money, and this goes for crypto, this goes for, anything big that's going into your account that's not normal. And I don't know about you, but big numbers are not normal for my bank account. Um, they can actually put your money in limbo. Like, it could be seen as like fraud or something malicious or something going into your account that shouldn't be there. And so they could actually put it in limbo and hold it for, indefinite until you can prove or whatever they need from you that it's supposed to be there. And so it's always good to kind of give your bank a kind of a heads up, like, hey, I'm an investor. You don't have to tell them you're in meme stocks, because guess what, I'm hearing horror stories, like people getting laughed out of their banks because they're like, yeah, I'm in GameStop, and they're just like, you're kidding, right? um, you don't have to say you're in meme stocks. You just have to say, hey, I've gotten into the stock market, I've been investing in cryptos or just regular stocks or whatever, and I just need to know what the um, procedure is to transfer large amounts of money back into my bank account from my broker. That's basically how you have to word it. I wouldn't even mention meme stock. I wouldn't do it because right now it's a touchy subject.
Yeah, you don't have to put your business out there. I've actually had held up over 20,000 just like, because it was out of the norm. And plus it reached that $10,000 cap. It is what it is. Like I said, I listen, learn, write things down, check it out myself, figure it out, then we move from there. But like I said, if you have to start adding commas, you need the professionals. That now I'll step down.
No,
The
thanks,
best
Hutton.
recommendation I have for crypto stuff is get a coin market cap account for free, and you can use them to keep track of your portfolio for all purchases and all sales of crypto. You can record the fees, you can make notes for every transaction, so you know what exchange it was in. You can deal with transfer in, transfer out. So it'll help you keep track of your assets and your allocations as far as like what percentage of your portfolio is what coin and all of that. And then come tax season, you can just export the entire thing as a CSV and then go to a tax professional with it, and it will show every single transaction that has ever been made.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Antimatter, what's going on?
Hey everyone. So I had a thought that I felt was fitting with this crypto and NFT space, and it's related to value. So I will ask you all a question to noodle around, and that's, how is value determined? So kind of, and I think it was AU Hunt, AU Hunton, when you were talking about Dogecoin, and hearing about when it was fractions of a cent or even a few cents and dismissing it. I was one of those. And for anyone else that was part of this group, I mean, can you really blame us? Doge was literally started as a meme. For those of you really early on in the community with Dogecoin, you might remember Josh Wise. He was a NASCAR driver that was actually sponsored. Well, he was a driver that was driving actually pretty well, but he was not sponsored by anyone. So the NASCAR and Dogecoin community kind of came together to sponsor him off Dogecoin. This was back in 2014. They even did fundraisers. They were selling a Dogecoin with a Doge logo shirts to also raise for fundraising. And I bought one of those back in 2014, supporting uh, the community, supporting kind of Dogecoin as a concept. But at the time, we all, well, I wouldn't say all, but a lot of people just knew it was a meme. It was intended as a meme, but over time, and especially early this year, it blew up. No one can deny that people, the hype train, the momentum, people bought into Dogecoin. It was started as a joke, but people bought into this idea. And that's why now it's not worth fractions of a cent anymore. It's almost,
I think it's touching. It's like
but
28 to 30 cents. Yeah.
yeah. Man, and its peak earlier this year, it was
Oh
I think
gosh,
like
yeah,
73.
72,
Um,
73.
but again, what how is value determined? 2014, it was fractions of a cent. It was a joke, but now it's something to be reckoned with. And I think as we consider the NFT crypto space, again, just consider how is value determined? Is it because someone on the news on Wall Street says, this is a joke, this is fictitious, made up internet money? Um, or is it more fundamental, the belief? And as we get communities, as we get more people, the population invested in this idea and the concept, right now there's a lot of NFTs, a lot of different cryptocurrencies out there that I think over time might end up consolidating somewhat. But I think it's the idea, and as more people buy into this idea, they'll see the value. And I think the concept of what crypto represents, what NFTs represent, will make uh, these ideas valuable in the future.
Well, I had to respond to that. So you remember Jamie Dimon just earlier this year saying that crypto is a joke, it's not real, it's not going to succeed. You've heard in the news lately, just I think it was yesterday, just released, or it might be the day before, but just recently, now JP Morgan Chase has their own coin.
Is that my connection? Or did everyone just
No,
drop
go
out?
go ahead,
Yeah,
Jeremiah.
it got
Okay.
dropped.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make two comments on the value thing, but quickly on the JPM coin. So JPM coin's actually been discussed within JPM for almost a year as a potential stable coin that they were going to begin working on. Um, and even though like Jamie Dimon like coming out and actually providing like a strong value proposition behind crypto as a potential growth point and potential investment vehicle was definitely like a jump in the right direction. Internally, and even like a lot of analysts had determined as early as June, July, when Bank of America started talking about coins, that JPM and Goldman Sachs would follow shortly after. So I think the financial world kind of expected that, and the crypto world definitely expected that too. The problem though is that it is just a stable coin. As a stable coin, it's like USDC, it's like Tether, it's minted well, we don't know for sure, but very likely to be minted on the Ethereum mainnet, and has all of the faults that exist within stablecoins currently, and all of the potential that exists there as well, minus the fact that it's fully centralized within JPM. Um, on the topic of value, um, I would like to say that Doge is an outlier, right? Doge's value is there because it's a meme. The market drives the value of Doge because the market right now, especially, is largely the demographics of the market right now, especially, are largely driven by meme stalkers that that are they're the ones that are flipping Doge. They're the ones that are buying into Doge because it's a meme. And the same reason why GME and AMC starts popping off before it actually became like a people realized it was a real investment vehicle, and people were just buying in because it was the meme thing to do in the very, very early beginning. Not everyone, obviously. Some people were paying attention, but some people were just, hey, everyone else is doing it, and it became FOMO, and they bought in. Doge went the same way. Importantly, crypto doesn't get its value from only the market. It gets its value from utility. Dogecoin has no utility, and on top of that, Dogecoin has an infinite supply. So it's kind of counter to the idea that supply and demand drives the market. What's driving the market on Doge is demand, and demand only. Every single day that Doge exists, it dilutes itself because it just mints on a timer. It's just going to consistently mint for every time it's mined, every transaction that's been done. It's not going to scale itself back. It's always going to provide the same amount, and that's because that's what it's intended to do as a meme coin. So I think it's important, like I said it before when I've talked about crypto, is that it is important to understand the tech that is going into what you're investing in if you're looking into crypto, because the utility is what drives the long-term value of crypto. You might get lucky with Doge. You might get lucky with Safemoon. You might get lucky with Shiba Inu or any of the other random alts that are out there that have either limited functionality or no functionality. But for every one altcoin that ends up going from 1/10 or 1/10,000th of a cent up to 73 cents over the course of 8 months, there are 500 that will never get anywhere near a penny. So, and that's because they just don't have the utility to support it. Anyone can create an altcoin. So just keep that in mind when you're doing investing in crypto.
So what's really interesting, Jeremiah, with Doge, and I laugh because I was one of those early people, and my husband bought into it because we were like, well, it's a fun coin, right? It was made for
Oh,
fun.
I did too.
Yeah, right. And so, it was just such a silly thing. And when you are in the market for so long, you need something silly. It's something fun. Just to kind of lighten your portfolio, because then you can just kind of giggle, because every time it would move up a fraction of a cent, you celebrated. You're like, holy crap, Doge is moving. And when we say moving, like, it was going from like 0.001 to like 0.003, 0.002 to 0.006, and you're like, oh, it's moving. And so when it actually hit a penny, like when I actually told my husband, I was like, Doge is at a penny. He's like, what? Why is Doge at a penny? I was like, I don't know. This is weird. And then when it ran to like 8 cents earlier this year, we were like, what the hell is going on with Doge? Like, we've held it for 7 years. We've been in Doge for 7 years. That's a long time, right? Especially for something that was literally made for a meme. Like it was literally meant to mock the cryptocurrencies. And so what I find fascinating now with Doge is that a lot of businesses are taking Doge, and there's sports teams that are paying athletes in Doge. Like there's athletes that are like, yeah, pay me in Doge, and I'm like, really? That's a thing? And then like one of the sport teams, like, you can use Doge to buy concessions or sports tickets and things. So I don't know if that's gonna last or not. But the fact that it's being used, I think, is pretty cool. I know there was talks, not from the creator, but someone with Doge was like, maybe we will put a market cap on it. Maybe we will limit the coin or something. But I can tell you right now, just off my graphics card, like, right, we don't have like a miner. I want to set up a miner for sure, but just using just my graphics card to mine Doge, like I can mine 30 Doge in like 2 or 3 days, which isn't bad. Back when it was a penny or sub penny, no, it was not worth the amount of electricity that you use to mine Doge to have your mining going for so long. But now it pays for itself in a sense, actually, because like I was looking at the electric bill when we were mining it, constantly 24/7, which I do not advise doing unless you have a computer that can do it. Because one Indian dude tried to do it on his MacBook, and it almost fried his MacBook. I was like, I don't know if your computer's strong enough to do it, but I mean, hey, if you want to try it, try it. But it almost fried his computer. So unless you have something that can actually handle it, and there's specs that you can look up or whatever, you can mine Ethereum, you can mine Algo, and you can mine a lot of the different altcoins. And that way you actually own it, right? Like it's like buying it on a wallet like Coinbase or something. But it's kind of fun to be like, yeah, I mine these coins. Like my computer did the work for it. But yeah, it came out to be like, I think when Doge was hitting like 25 cents, it was only, so you figure about 10 coins a day. And I think it was only costing us an extra 30 cents a day for electricity to have two computers running. So essentially, we were mining 20 Doge a day between two computers. So it was actually worth it for us. Fun little fact.
Yeah, no, I think that there's value in you know, having levity in your portfolio. I have Doge in my portfolio that is left over from long ago, as well as you know, pulling a little bit more in earlier this year just to flip it. And I did well with Doge treated me well this year for sure. And it'll stay, you know, a couple hundred or whatever it is in my portfolio until it suddenly crests some magic number that makes me want to feel like I should drop it. And I absolutely have other alts that are extremely low value in my port that were, you know, $50 to pick up 12,000 of them or whatever it is. So who cares? And they'll sit there forever. And worst case that happens, and the very likely case that happens, is that they never go anywhere. I never flip them, and I'm out $50. But who knows? Something else might happen. It might be some Doge-worthy type of meme thing that suddenly pops up, and all of a sudden that coin explodes, and that 12,000, there's 12,000 that are now, you know, worth a very, very small fraction of a cent, or suddenly become worth 5 cents or something, and I make out very well for my very little investment, basically. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't have levity in your portfolio. In fact, one of the benefits of crypto is that if you're willing to like gamble that away, if you're willing to, because that's essentially what it is, you're just gambling on it at that point, because there's no real, in most cases anyway, there's no real tech or mission statement or longevity behind what is being uh, like revealed at that price. I mean, not to say that there aren't, like, you know, Cardano started super low and look what it is now. Solana same way. Like legitimate coins do have to start somewhere. So you know, if you do that, if you're looking at, basically it's kind of like just separating your goals as an investor. You know, if you want to be a gambler, then there's plenty of coins within crypto that are likely not going to go anywhere, but for cheap you can pick up a lot, and who knows, you might be able to get a 500x return or something in 2 years' time, because the market latches on to the new golden child for 3 months before they forget about it. But for every one of those, there also have very several more that are just never going to go anywhere, and you just need to be okay with the fact that you gambled away the money. So it's just like any other thing when you're gambling, right? The house typically wins. The same thing's going to happen with crypto. Most of the altcoins that you bet on are not going to go anywhere, but it's just a matter of what your goals are from your investment portfolio, what your personal risk tolerance is.
100%. And that's why I said, like, with Safemoon, like, we, back in March, I only put 65, $75 in, and I think at that point it got me like 16 million tokens. Because remember, Safemoon, for everyone that doesn't know, it's a token, not a coin. Um, so yeah, that was, and that's kind of like the same thing I would do for Doge, is just set it, forget it. One day it'll take off, for whatever reason. um, I have a feeling. I just have a feeling on it. So, I'm 100% with you on that. Like, never put more money in than you're willing to lose, for sure. Um, but that's, that's
I just
crypto.
Yeah, I just think that like Bitcoin has done great things for the crypto market, but the one thing that it has not done a great job of is preparing people that are new to the crypto market, like tempering their expectations. So many people, I feel like when I speak to people that are coming into the crypto market for the first time or are very new to it, are very much of the mindset that they're going to find the next Bitcoin, they're going to find the next Ethereum, and they're going to walk away 3 years from now having a coin that in their wallet that is worth $40,000, and they're sitting on 4,000 of them, because as you've spoken about multiple times, like we've all of us that have been here for a while have that missed opportunity story about where we could have been if we had actually listened to the guy that said, hey, check out Bitcoin or check out Ethereum or whatever the case may be. So you know, everyone's trying to like grab at that, and I think that because crypto is still a relatively fledgling infant market, there's a lot of growth opportunities there, but there's also a lot more risk in crypto now than there was even 6 or 7 years ago when there was more uncertainty, because at least then the risk that you were accepting was usually small amounts of money, and now people are more inclined to put in big amounts of money on things that they may not have a full understanding of the crypto market to be able to actively and actually invest in, and like in a smart way. Like it bothers me as a crypto investor when I read stories about people that are like 40 to 50% of crypto investors don't understand how crypto works, because that's a critical component of like understanding what the value of what's in your wallet is.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, that's exactly it, right? Like, you have to read because every one of them has something a little bit unique to them. Like, you have like Algo that pays out interest. You have Doge that, well, it's community driven and it has a very large market cap. Um, and then you have like Safemoon where you have to read that it has a 10% tax every time you sell. So you have to account for that whenever you are, that's why you don't flip things like Safemoon that have those kind of taxes, because you're losing money every time you sell it, right? So you do have to you have to read. And I hate to say it, but that is the essential thing with investing is you just have to read. Or at least go watch a YouTube video on it. Like, before you get into something, go research it and make sure it's something that suits you for sure. I definitely agree with that.
YouTube is a fantastic resource for crypto information for sure, but there are a lot of people shilling shit coins on YouTube too. So you have to be careful with who you're looking at. Like, yeah, some of them are definitely more guilty than others of just like latching onto something and just trying to run pump and dumps. So
And be wary of these discords too that run pump and dumps. To be very weary of those. Um, they'll get you sometimes for sure.
100%.
Antimatter, what's going on?
Going along with what was just being said, I guess another PSA for anyone that might be listening in that might be relatively new to the crypto NFT world is, um, there's also a duty that you that we all need to do in terms of security and computer security, cybersecurity. Um, Back in the day, when this was when crypto, Bitcoin, Dogecoin was kind of first making its runs on the scene, it was very common for there to be like phishing attacks where you'll click on a link, then uh, hackers would essentially search your computer for any kinds of wallets, and will have code that will transmit any coins that they find to to the hacker's wallet basically, and that's where the idea of cold storage, offline wallets really came from. So again, just a PSA is it's really important in this not just this space, but in today's world, just being vigilant with cybersecurity, being cautious on links that you click, whether it's a link on Reddit, which actually is kind of concerning to me. It's I feel it's so easy to spoof a hyperlink on Reddit, or to mislead people by uh, masking what the links look like on Reddit. But again, you never know what page, what code might be on hyperlink. So just the PSA: be extra vigilant in terms of cybersecurity, because over the last years, this has been a prevalent thing in this space. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
Antimatter, that's a great point too. And so, and that brings me back, and this isn't crypto so much, kind of, but it leads me back to the thing that was happening with people that use the Say technology website for the AMC voting thing. There were people that were actually saying that their brokerage accounts were getting hacked. Um, their phone numbers were leaked or something, and so they were getting like malicious calls to like threatening them to sell their shares of AMC because, I personally didn't do it, but I know that people had to put in their brokerage account information, like their logins and things like that. Like, if people are asking you for that, really dive into what the company is or who's going to have access to that information. It's a sketchy world. Like you got to take it back to the basics. Back when we were kids, you have to have some kind of awareness on the online community. It's there's a lot of bad players out there. So yeah, definitely antimatter. I definitely agree. AU, what's going on?
Yeah, just to put back on what the last member was saying. What was that? Oh, I'm sorry, I just lost his name.
Antimatter, yeah.
Antimatter. So back to cybersecurity piece of this. Um, so I was trying to do the cold storage, bought a wallet. I can't remember the name of the thing. I got it written down here in one of my notes, but bought it through Amazon. And then I was thinking about it. Cybersecurity piece kicked in. I didn't go directly to the source. I went to Amazon. Who knows where that came from? Fulfillment center. Who knows who's had their hands on it? Immediately took it back or sent it back and went directly to the company website to buy that device. So you don't want to go to eBay, Amazon, or any third-party people. You want to go directly to the source to get your cold storage wallets and get that stuff off your computer. If you're using your MacBook and saving your passwords through the what is it? I think what's this thing called? Preferences, security, password
Keychain.
store. Yeah, the keychain on your computer. Just realize that okay, your computer's connected to the internet. You're open.
Yeah, 100%. Antimatter, if you're still in here, I have a question for you from YouTube. So if you want to come back up here at some time. Jeremiah, did you have a thing you wanted to add?
Yeah, I was gonna echo Antimatter's sentiments on that, and also just clarify that like the value of crypto is the idea that you are your own bank, right? Like there is no middleman. The reason why banks exist, maybe, well, arguably now, obviously this is a little bit up for debate, but the reason why banks initially existed was to protect your money. And as a result, like they are the middleman. That's why you pay for that banking. That's why you pay, like your cost of banking is to pay for their financial services, whether it's the vault, the protection of their vault, the federal insurance for the money, the encryption on their website, whatever the case may be. That's the overhead that they are paying for when you're paying for your overdraft fees or your annual fees or whatever the case may be. In crypto, that doesn't exist. You are your own bank, you're your own insurance, you're your own vault. So you need to make sure, especially when you're getting to the point where your portfolio is becoming like your saving, like your lifetime retirement account. You need to make sure that you're doing due diligence on everything you do, whether it's visiting sites, it's submitting addresses, it's looking at YouTube videos, it's following Reddit posts. Like public addresses are, at least until quantum computers are around, publicly shared address isn't going to hurt anyone. It's like your public pairing. But under no circumstance should your keys, your private keys, ever leave your immediate possession ever. And to the point of like the Ledger Nano hard wallets, any of those, absolutely buy 100% from the source. It should be coming in a sealed package. It should be insured by them and guaranteed by them, that no one has come in contact with it and has no other nefarious things loaded onto it. A cold wallet is only protected by its air gap, and there are absolutely reports of people that have bought those third-party wallets off of Amazon, and it turns out they weren't air gap. They have nefarious like Bluetooth connections that are just connecting to Wi-Fi immediately whenever you're doing the Bluetooth and running through your computer, and that's all they need to be able to pull the private keys, and they'll just drain your wallet. And you're never going to see that again, because in a world of banking, you have federal insurance. In a world of crypto, you're your insurance. So cover your ass, because no one's going to feel bad for you if you lose it. Well, they'll feel bad for you, but they're not going to be able to help you because there's really nothing you can do.
Thank you, Jeremiah. So real quick, antimatter, the question is following leader. Wondering if you could provide some tips regarding internet links, like maybe using a VPN or Tor, if you have anything for that.
Yeah. So my recommendation is to definitely be cautious of any links that you click on. So in the example where you might be holding crypto in an offline storage system, ideally you would never connect that system, that computer, to the internet. So if you have an old computer, you might want to repurpose for that use. Best practice, at least going back a few years ago, would be like to reformat that computer, make sure it's never connected to the internet, then transfer the coins, the wallet to that machine. There's other tools that like virtualization that you can leverage. So you could use one computer and then virtualize, or use a VM to run other applications, run another operating system, essentially containerized. And so in that idea, if you were to click on a bad link in this container, it will not be able to access the actual machine and the actual files that you have on the machine. Also, just speaking specifically about Reddit, and internet browsers in general, before clicking on links, my recommendation as a best practice just in general is hover over the link, and then typically in your browser in the bottom left hand corner, you'll see a pop-up that actually shows the web address of the page that the hyperlink is going to. So you could try to confirm before you click on what the site will actually, where you will actually be going, to see if it might be potentially malicious. That said, certainly I think VPNs would be ideal, just to ensure encryption between your computer and whatever you're connecting to. But I do not have any recommendation on any specific uses. But I'll open the floor if anyone else cares to comment.
Thank you, Antimatter. AU, you have a question?
Yeah, excuse me. I was going to comment what Animator was saying is that for the VPNs, if somebody wants to if somebody's targeting you or wants to get you, they're going to get you. There's no way around it. That's going to happen. Um, and back to what Jeremiah was saying about the world banks, if you look at my bio, you'll understand where I'm coming from in this perspective. But just to give a summation, I was a military planner. Part of going to war is to attack that central bank. You got to devalue the currency of your target country or target area, wherever you're going after. That's just part of one of the legs of war, leading up to war, to triumph over that target. So you're absolutely correct with the central bank piece of this. The second piece, or second comment I have on that, with the central bank, like I said, with Janet Yellen trying to regulate crypto, it's a double-edged sword. With crypto being out in the open, not being controlled, not totally distributed, they can't control that piece of it. So they're going after money laundering, illicit trades, illicit whatever, and they don't have that control on that piece.
That's actually very interesting that you say that's a first act of war, actually. Like that just kind of put something in my brain. So I appreciate that, AU. Jeremiah?
It's one of the first. Like I said, when you go for planning course, like I said, I'm going through joint planning. I was a planner for 3 years. That's one of the things. What is this currency? There's 5 steps. You're talking about when you're planning, you plan for war. You also plan for peace, peacetime operations, humanitarian. Everything comes into play. Everything that a nation does, or a responsible nation like the U.S., when we go into a country, you've got to have your assumptions. You've got to have knowledge. You've got to have hard facts on what you can and cannot do and what you accomplish based on what is the reality. And like I said, banking is one of them. Destabilize that currency going in to an act of war, and then to cycle back into the peacetime, which goes back to the Marshall Doctrine. You've got to rebuild that country. So now you got to establish. So look at Iraq. They didn't have a central bank. Afghanistan didn't have a central bank. That was part of the transition from full out war to try to nation build and get those countries back on their feet, establish a central bank.
Thank you. Oh gosh, I'm gonna pick your brain more on a later time on this. I'm very fascinated. Jeremiah, what's going on?
No worries. Like I said, did 30 years and I've got lots of experience doing this stuff.
Yeah, all that's awesome. Like I 100% believe that I'm not in the military, but I absolutely believe that would be the target, right? Like, the global reserve currency is already US dollar, but if you are devaluing their local currency and forcing your currency onto them or their new currency that is directly backed by your currency, then you control their economy 1 to 1. So 100% makes sense. I did want to like I don't want to like cause I don't want to do like a whole doom and gloom type of thing that make people think that your ability to be hacked or your crypto wallet to be hacked is like an inevitability within the space. To be completely fair, completely honest, far more crypto and uh, um, far more people, far more users have lost crypto due to just not remembering their own passwords than has ever been stolen.
I
So I mean, there's maybe not far more, but there's definitely, well, I guess I would say that unless you're an exchange, like large exchanges have obviously been hacked. There's been hacks that have happened as a result of smart contract fuck ups that have led to millions of dollars being devalued from the cryptocurrency. And obviously we know about like the Poly hack earlier this year that was huge. Exchanges are always going to be targets. Individual wallets are less so. Individual wallets are going to be are more at risk from social engineering than direct hacking. The idea that you are falling for the scam of you send a crypto to this address and they'll give you 2 crypto back or things like that. Those are absolutely scams always. No one's going to give you free crypto like that. If it's too good to be true, it very, very much like most likely is. Do not do it. And make sure you just hold on to your passphrase because, I mean, the current estimations I saw recently were like 140 or 150 million dollars in Bitcoin is just never going to be recovered because it's just in stranded wallets that no one has any access to.
It reminds me of the guy that had like one more chance to get his Bitcoin off of a hard drive or something that he had
Oh
encrypted.
yeah, in the UK, and he told the landfill that if they helped him find it, that he would give him like 30% of it, and they told him no.
Yeah, right. Like what?
Yeah.
AU, yes, I see your hand.
Yeah, Jeremiah, you're absolutely correct. I'm not trying to spread gloom and doom with everybody. From a planner and also I had network experience, network administrator experience. Um, Again, the hackers are going to go after the big targets. They're not going to go after you got 1 or 2 coins here or there. That's a waste of time. And what I was referring to in my business, if they're going to go after you, they being a government state or government entity, they're going to get you. That's what I was trying. And they're not going to go after the individual. They're going to go after the bigger fish to get into that wallet or to that vault.
Yeah, I'm sure. This is the reason why Macs are supposedly the safer option, but realistically they're not. Just no one writes viruses for Macs because they don't control 95% of the market and they're not used primarily in businesses, right? So why write a virus for a Mac that's largely never going to get you anywhere when you can write it much cheaper, faster, easier for a PC, throw it out there on the net and probably get something out of it, 100%.
Well, that's funny you mentioned. So I'll shoot on that. So I was going through my network security class, and we actually wrote a virus for PC. And okay, now click if it's not, and where we wrote it, if it's not a PC, go to line, whatever, operate on Mac IO on the Mac infrastructure. Check to see here, and then go. If it's this, go to. So things are evolving. Like I said, not straight
Yeah.
gloom and
Well,
doom. That
now
was just
they
fun.
definitely become
That was just
more of a
fun.
target for sure as like market share has ticked up. But I mean that for years you would hear like get a Mac, it's virus proof, but and like you don't need to run
Yeah.
antivirus on it and you did not need to run antivirus on Macs for the longest time because no one was creating viruses for Macs. It just was a waste of time to do it.
Yeah,
So
you bring back memories.
So as the technology ecosystem evolves, and as we keep moving forward and progressing, there's this shift towards being operating system agnostic. And there's a lot of people that rely on autofill to pre-populate their passwords, the login information, their credentials, their username and password. And some systems, unfortunately, do not have that the credentials stored as well as they maybe should. So I don't know if this is the case today or not. Or I should say I don't know how prevalent it is today, but I feel like it's becoming more and more prevalent, where these types of attacks are becoming more browser esque versus operating system. And if they have your login and password for Coinbase, inject or run this script, uh, kind of behind the scenes to transfer uh, coins from one address to another. But yes, I don't want to make this sound doom and gloom. Again, I meant it more as a general PSA of what's possible, and just each person should be doing their own due diligence and just being cognizant of what's possible to better help protect yourself.
For sure. You guys are doing great. This is awesome. And I think this is actually an important conversation to be having because I don't, like, a lot of people don't think about these things at all. So I'm appreciating it. Citadel Air, I saw your hand.
Indeed. To not promote the doom and gloom, maybe I can shine a ray of sunshine. There are a handful of insurance companies, for example, on my homeowners, that will cover a crypto loss or theft. It's kind of like having an antique or a valuable or a jewelry. On mine, it's separately scheduled. So there's the standard homeowners premium, the standard liabilities, so on and so forth. There's a jewelry schedule for the wife's jewelry and some watches I have, but then there's a separate schedule just for cryptocurrency. And I have it set at X dollars, and I pay about $600 a year extra. Um, I don't want to disclose what the X dollar coverage is, but should I have a like non-custodial or I don't know if the custodial wallet would account, but should I have a theft or a covered loss, they pay out, no questions asked. But there are a handful, and I'm not talking about so much about the commercial policies that cover ransomware and things like that, but actual consumer policies that offer coverage. Mine is Chubb, CHUBB. They're very good, and I know there's a couple others out there, but just food for thought if you ever do have a concern, for a myriad of reasons.
Citadel Air, will you tweet that out so we can pass that along too?
Yeah, no worries.
Darn.
Will do.
Thank you. Rose, yes, you were up next.
Hi, Kenneth.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I can't I had no idea about what Citadel Air just said, but that's pretty amazing. Had no clue about the insurance. But I have a question, but I just want to touch on what Jeremiah said about losing things because of passwords. I haven't really lost anything because of passwords, but I've been in crypto since 2017 and I have lost a lot of coins. In 2017, I had a lot of coins on exchanges before I really knew not to keep your money on exchanges that no longer exist, right? Just completely went out of business, no longer there, scammed everyone. And also just setting up wallets incorrectly at times where you don't realize you might have to write down multiple codes in order to get your coins back. I even have some XRP in limbo because I had an app on my phone that was a wallet that no longer works. So there's so many different things to the crypto and so many different ways to lose your coins. And that touches on the question that I had for you guys. So I feel like there is with crypto it's hard to find valid information because there's so many scams out there. And I know that there's YouTubers, and you said to read. Are there any specific YouTubers that you guys like? I know that there's like big people like BitBoy and even Coin Bureau and everything else. But I wasn't sure if there was any other even smaller YouTubers or where you guys get your information from that you know aren't scammers and give you good resources.
Yeah, so I can touch on that. I can touch on a few other things. I've been taking notes so I can kind of say my spiel and then go back on mute so other people can get a chance to speak. So I'm curious, Rose, you said that you were burned by exchanges that no longer exist, and you were around in 2017 in crypto. That wasn't Quadriga, was it? You didn't get caught up in Quadriga?
No, it wasn't. One was like
Oh, good.
Cryptopia. Yeah, Cryptopia, some other things like that.
Got it. Okay. I was just curious because I've never actually spoken to any. I never had anything in Quadriga because it's obviously Canadian based, and I just wasn't there for it. So I've never actually met anyone that got burned by Quadriga. So I was just curious what it was like to be on the other side instead of like our side where we kind of watched it all go down. Anyway, so I on Citadel from the insurance stuff. That's really yeah, 100%. I completely blanked on touching on that for sure. The reason why that's able to be done is because crypto currently is seen as a digital asset, like you said, Citadel. So it's going to be right there next to the physical assets and be able to be insured as a separate line item, essentially. There's a bit of a unknown what's going to happen in the coming years as Congress obviously starts looking at it more and whether or not it remains the digital asset classification or if it changes. It's kind of like a catch 22. There's pros and cons. The pro of the crypto regulation that we did see this year, while it may have been hasty and not really obviously not written by anyone that actually knows anything about crypto. Um, it the fact that it is in regulation for the first time does add legitimate, like it does legitimize the industry in a way that hasn't been done in the past. So it's kind of, no one likes regulation, especially in a currency that in an industry that's expected to be decentralized and be kind of not regulation proof, but regulation adjacent. But the fact is that we just can't. We're never going to see crypto become that mainstream thing that it needs to be, that we all want it to be, without regulation being involved. Like that's an inevitability. Hopefully, they do a better job in the future, and we're able to do what we can from the lobbying perspective or whatever we need to do to make sure that the people that are actually writing the laws have. I mean, at least it'd be nice if I was convinced that they even owned a wallet, because at this point, I don't think any of them do, or most of them don't. So I think it's super difficult for them to actually come up with things that make sense, that cover the crypto world in the correct way without kind of stepping on the toes of how the technology works, because they have some intern Google some stuff and watch some YouTube videos and can just write up something that ends up taxing $30 billion out of something they don't know where, somewhere involving crypto. Um, so I am interested to see what happens to the insurance company's ability to cover crypto once it drops, if it drops away from being a digital asset and goes into like securities coverage or currency coverage, because obviously by that point it would need to be covered by FDIC or something like that. And then on the note of FDIC, Coinbase actually does, and a lot of exchanges do now. Coinbase for sure. I believe eToro as well. They are using pass-through FDIC coverage. So basically, since the money that is going into your wallet on Coinbase on the exchange is coming from a fiat bank, in most cases, it is seen as being covered by the federally insured via pass-through funds. So basically saying like it's coming from this, it's never actually going to your possession. It's being held by a custodian, and as a result, that custodian is responsible for it, but it's still under FDIC protection. That's never been challenged. Like no one's actually lost that and lost money there and had to go to court to try to get that. So it remains to be seen whether or not that actually is able to be, followed. But for now, it is technically in place for Coinbase. But it's very that's very sporadic. There are other exchanges that also have their own insurance policies that you're able to get under if you would like to, but you have to pay premiums for it. Like Kraken offers it and things like that. But for the most part, yeah, it just doesn't exist. And then on the question for YouTubers, I really enjoy Ben Cohen. I think that he or Cowan, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I think that he does a really good job of providing data centric information about crypto. He really the one thing is that he's not really in the business of like pointing out altcoins. He has very specific ones like Link and ADA and Ethereum and Bitcoin and things like that that he's looking at. And every now and then he'll dabble in some other stuff, but for the most part, he has like his portfolio that he talks about. He's very open with his community and very. I never get the feeling that he's pressuring anything, that he's pushing anything. He does have like a premium subscription thing that you can purchase that gets access to like his trading view indicators that he's saved down and that he distributes. But you don't need to do that. You can like he's fully open with everything without that. That's purely just to help with the TA if you want to go down that road. So Ben Cohen, 100%. He's probably the only YouTuber that I would fully recommend. BitBoy, I would actually say unsubscribe from him immediately. He is 100% just a shill altcoin spammer. He's pump and dump through and through. He's frequently guilty of not double checking his sources, throwing out information that is completely unvetted, and getting people to buy into coins that have no value or very limited value, and then himself dumping them on his viewers. He's been accused of that multiple times. He's great at marketing himself, and he's everywhere. And he seems to be like the go-to person in a lot of cases for crypto investors, which is unfortunate because I 100% believe that he just burns people all the time just because he's out for his wallet and that's it.
Thank you so much for that, and I agree with you. I think that I am subscribed to Ben. I think that he talks a lot about Ethereum, and I do really like him. And I agree with you about the BitBoy because I do notice that there's always a pump and dump about like 20 minutes or a little while after a video comes out, and then the coin just like dies down. Um, that's why I was saying that I do find it difficult to get information, but with crypto, I do have a hard time actually weeding out that information. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I mean not to show for myself or anything, but I do have in my profile, in my Twitter profile, there's a link to a Discord that I have that's pure crypto, that has like that pulls in YouTube videos and into feeds, and we try to do a good job of like helping each other kind of parse through the weeds and figure out ones that are worthwhile investments. And we've done there's some like PDF presentations that a few people have put together on coins where they've tried to like sell the rest of the server on it, and then we try to basically rip it apart to see if it's a reasonable investment. And sometimes we do, sometimes it ends with the majority of us throwing a couple dollars that way. So um, I'm not sure how familiar you are with Discord, but it's always there, always open, always an option. Sorry, Kenneth, for kind of plugging that.
No, not
Great.
a problem.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys.
I will never discourage giving people places to be able to find great information. I will never discourage that at all. I mean that's what BullHouse is about, is community driven, right? That's exactly what we need. And because I am still learning crypto. I've been in crypto, but Jeremiah has definitely helped me a lot understand, some of the ins and outs of that I didn't know, which has been phenomenal. So I love learning more and more. And as long as people can learn, I'm cool. You can plug away. Speaking of plugging, if anybody has NFTs or anything that they have been working on or they want to I think you guys say shill your NFTs, which I think is terrible. If you guys have those, you guys can definitely come up and talk about it, or if you have a favorite content creator or anything, NFT creator, don't be afraid to come up and, kind of give them a shout out too, so that we can, help that community as well. Because I know we've been covering a lot of crypto, so um, if not, I'm totally cool keeping this whole conversation going on with crypto, because I think we've gotten a lot of vital information, because there's a lot of people. Think about it this way. There's been quite a few, I should say, I think I saw like 5 to 10 million new investors just this year, within different marketplaces, whether it's, crypto, NFTs, stock market, or anything like that. And we've become really complacent with the internet, right? Like, it's a thing that we use on our everyday, and we just kind of become way too relaxed with how we utilize this utility. We have social media. Like, I guess that's the joy of being my age is, I can remember when the internet was around. I was a child, yes, but it was, you don't give out passwords, you don't put out information that people shouldn't have. Like, the whole idea of, like, you had a username. This is a great thing. Your username back in the day, in the 90s, was something that you couldn't identify yourself by. No one could identify you on who you were by your username. And now, and that went for your email, that went for chat rooms, that went for, whatever you were using. You didn't put anything with your name on it. And now, it became a thing where, professionally with our social medias, companies look into your social media, so you have to have your real name on it. Your email is usually some combination of your actual name. And so I think this has been a great discussion, the whole safety thing, because it kind of just takes it back to that idea of, we are very vulnerable in our online presence anymore, because we do put out so much information. We post pictures. That wasn't a thing back in the 90s. That wasn't that was definitely not a thing that you did. Posting pictures of yourself or your kids or where you live or what kind of car you drive, and we're in a realm with financing, whether you're in the MOAS or you're in cryptos and stuff. And so you kind of become a target, especially whenever you are posting like, oh yeah, I just bought, 500 coins of whatever, or, oh yeah, I am in the MOAS. Like, we are a target in a sense, especially when things start popping off. So I just, yeah, keep vigilant and, just stay safe.
I just want to say real quick on the whole email name thing. I don't know how many of you guys are parents, but absolutely the best thing that I did for my kids when they were shortly after they were born was I went on Gmail and immediately got them their email address in
I
their
did
name.
that too when our
So
daughter was born.
absolutely do that. Yeah, because like my son now is 15, so he's doing like college, like starting college stuff and things like that, and it looks way better for him to be sending an email from his actual name and an email address than from something that was like made up when he was playing Minecraft when he was 7 or something like that. So for sure, because like they go quick.
I'm still using the AOL.
Oh
I mean, look,
goodness.
like my original name, like my Twitter name, Gafgarian, that's 100% from Final Fantasy Tactics on PlayStation 1 in 1997. Like that's that's carried through and it'll stay with me for the rest of my life. So some things, some old habits are sometimes hard to break, but from the perspective of like Kenna, you're absolutely right. Like, like especially young kids coming up, like that are going into the workforce, getting it now for something that because Google doesn't release emails, so otherwise they're just going to sit there and never get picked up, or picked up and just squatted on. So
Yep, we have her Outlook. We have an Outlook for that we got last year. It's really goofy that that's something that you have to consider doing. Like, the fact that she has an email with her name, no numbers, no goofy characters or anything. Like, it's actually her name. So it's been pretty cool. But yeah, but you still have to stay vigilant. And like thinking about AOL, AU, like we had AOL where you had to buy the minute discs and reload it and whatnot. I still have my AOL email too. I don't use it. It's like
Me too. Yeah.
it's all spam, but
Yeah, yeah. Between that and Yahoo, it is what it is. I still use it as my throwaway address, and if I want to apply to get a discount someplace, that's the email address I throw down.
Yep. I have an MSN that I'd use that for
so
sure.
so you guys will find this funny. So my MySpace account was linked to my AOL address, and I can access the email address, but my MySpace is like, no, we don't recognize this email. So I tried logging in a few months ago, and it was like, oh well, there goes my MySpace.
I logged into mine a few months ago too because it was attached to my MSN. I was just curious, and they wiped everything. Like it's completely everything's the only thing that's remaining is my profile picture. Everything else is gone. All my every connection point, every photo, all of it's completely gone.
How odd is that?
Hey, to circle back on what Jeremiah was saying about the wallets and everything. So my brother-in-law, he's a tech guy as well, a network guy. Um, Him and his son were set up mining machines in his living room, and they accumulated back in the day like Bitcoin, 3 solid Bitcoin, and didn't think anything of it. It was resided on a server that somebody else was running, and he's smart like that. He has his passwords and everything. He remembered it. He went to go back to recover it, and some guy, shady guy, they were all gone. They were gone. Still can't find them. Don't know where they went to. The guy doesn't even respond to emails. So it goes back to as well as what Antimatter was saying. Definitely have your air gap machines. Definitely have your cold storage wallets. You are your only resource to protect that asset. And I think you were talking about that as well, Jeremiah. You're the one that needs to protect your asset, and don't forget your password.
Yeah, and then also tying in to bring both sides of the conversation together, like the kids and the wallet. I absolutely create have both of my kids have wallets with Bitcoin in them that I fully control. When my son was 13, I gave him control of his. He and said you can do whatever you want with it. He decided he's just going to sit on it. My daughter hasn't got hers. When she turns 13, she'll get hers and she can do whatever she wants with it. She can cash it out if she wants. But if you have extra coin like that, you can throw it, that you can split off into another wallet and just let it sit there for the next 10, 20 years so that way it just grows up next to your kid and then you can give it to them. Like it's going to absolutely appreciate in value over the next 10, 20 years, especially Bitcoin. So,
Definitely
you know,
better than a savings account.
absolutely.
No, definitely. So
Hey, Ken, if you had just asked, I would be more than happy to have provided you and your family with a citadelair.com email address of your choosing. You could have Kenna at citadelair.com. Just saying.
I get told I'm a shill too often to have that.
It seems somewhat appropriate, that's all.
Yeah, guys, for those that don't know, yes, apparently I don't know. Apparently I'm a shill now because I cover broad market and have, since BullHouse has been in its inception. Yeah, I got those messages a few days ago and I'm like, okay, that's okay.
Join the club. We
I
have
mean,
business cards. I can get you a business card printed up. We have, me and a few
oh
other people have
no.
business cards. I have one on like my Reddit profile. My Reddit profile page has my shill business card at the top of it.
Oh,
Oh, that's perfect.
I'm not a shill, guys, I swear.
This has nothing to do with the timing of me coming on staff either. I swear to
No,
God.
that was just perfect timing. I mean, no, it's so funny. It's really funny. And that's why, like me hosting these spaces for crypto and NFT or hosting, random space. That's why I'm getting that kind of hatred, which I don't understand because most of the apes are in NFTs and cryptos too. So I kind of just giggle at it now. But yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. So I'm just so naive to this whole thing. I said I did 30 years with the Navy, and to come out into this world to see this craziness going on, because I, I feel like I'm back in junior high. I don't understand it.
I, nope, I don't either. I don't know either. I, I don't know. It's silly. That's the best thing I got for you. It's just silliness, and I want you guys to know that do my best to provide you the best information. And I did. I think Lady was actually proud of me for doing my first shit post today with my little maid meme for the White House, and that was, yeah. It came to me after reading an article with BlackRock and them going with China investments and stuff like that. So that's why BlackRock got put on that, guys. That's why BlackRock was put on it, not because of their whole thing with the housing market. That wasn't for that per se, but it just kind of tied in nicely too.
Or are you talking about Green Cell?
Yes, that one.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I'm relooking crypto and NFTs. Got it. Check.
Yeah. Nope. So, and I did get an article not posted, but written up for BullHouse magazine. So that's I'm plugging that right now. I'm working so hard to get that out by October. And so Jeremiah, I'm going to put you on the spot. If you maybe, because this is the first edition's free. I'm giving out the first edition for BullHouse magazine. And because it's basically going to be the intro to BullHouse, the staff, people that we like that are constantly on here. So Jeremiah, I'm calling you out here for maybe a crypto content type article, maybe, if you want to, but you don't have to. It's not mandatory.
No, I can try. I can do it. I mean, I don't know if you want. I don't know that you want my name associated with it.
I
Because
don't care.
that's
You're
not
always
gonna
with
make
me.
your shill thing look any better. But yeah, I can talk crypto.
No, yeah, crypto, that would be great. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to get this going because it'll have broad market aspects, and it's actually going to have sports related content. It's going to have esports content, content, and First Strike is actually putting a little segment in there for veterans and military for their financial education, because what him and my husband have found when they got out of the military is that they're not actually fully prepared when they come back into civilian world, because you guys have to remember is that on the 1st and the 15th of every month, give or take the date depending on the weekend or holidays, they're paid, right? They know exactly what they're going to get paid, how much it's going to be, and when it's going to be there. And when you lose that kind of stability and trying to get back into the civilian world and managing credit and doing all this other craziness, they're not fully prepared for it. And so they're I know First Strike and my husband might be partnering up with them to do it, but they're going to be doing a little section for veterans. There is going to be a section on BullHouse website once I get that done. This is the brilliance. This is my mind at work here, guys. Is that the website for BullHouse, the need to know information for financial literacy will always be free. I will never charge for that. I don't want money for that, because anybody, I don't care how, if you have $1 in your bank or $1 million in your bank, it doesn't matter, because everybody should be able to learn financial literacy, A to Z. What is a stock? How do you get into the economy and trading in the economy, whether it's crypto or Forex or stocks, real estate, you name it, how to build your own wealth, right? Because I feel like everybody needs to be able to do that and not feel like they have to pay for that information. The need to know. How to open up a bank account, because some people might not know how to do that, how to open up a crypto wallet, how to, just those types of things, right? The need to know. Discord, our BullHouse Discord will always be free. I will never monetize that. And it kills me that there's so many monetized Discords, because I don't get it. I don't get that. Twitter Space, never monetized. These are going to be open to anybody and everybody that wants to come listen, because, well, that's just, it's goofy, right? Twitter Space drops, Twitter Space breaks. I just, again, valuable information is said in these spaces all the time, and I can't see restricting people from that. Like, that's not fair. That's not a fair market, damn it. And so the only way BullHouse actually generates revenue is either through our YouTube, which, again, you guys do not have to ever, 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 ever. I'm good with ads. I will put those up, whatever. And then the magazine, yes, the magazine will be a want to know. whether it's, like Jeremiah and his piece on crypto, want to know information. Nothing that you actually absolutely need to know, and what we feel. So that is my little plug for the magazine that I am very hard at work with, and the website. So we have a lot of big things coming up with BullHouse, which I'm very excited about. And I am actually going to do a piece here soon that I'm going to just kind of release. I think I'm going to put it either on Reddit or something. Kind of like a walkthrough of renovating an RV. This has nothing to do with NFTs or crypto, but we renovated an RV last year. Ripped off a roof and everything, gutted it. Grand total, like $5,000. It's a 92, 34 foot. Just in case people need, if in the case of a crash or something where you have to have some kind of roof, you can go get some land, put the RV on it, and you have a roof that you actually own, right? You don't have a mortgage on it. You don't even have to carry insurance if it's just parked. So yeah, that's something I was going to kind of release out to you guys. So, other than that, does anybody else have any final thoughts for tonight on crypto or anything that you want to get off your chest?
Yeah, like I said, you just need to get those people who automatically jump on others for being shill, quote unquote, using air quotes. We're all here for one reason, is to change the system, put a couple of bucks in our pocket, and make life better for us and our future generations.
Heck yeah, I like it. Citadel? Citadel, do you have something? Nope, I guess not. Yes, hunting. Hunting. I can't, for some reason. Hunting. I can't do it for some reason.
Okay, the AU, if you look
You,
at your periodic table, is gold.
well, right. I obviously.
Yeah, gold hunting.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking for.
I believe out west in some of the mountains there's still some gold. I'm just kidding.
I'll find it. Hey, I do have one more question for you. One last comment. So I'm on the gate IO. I got to wait for the validation, all this stuff to try to get into it. But was able to click on Safemoon. Is it you're not supported in your region? Did you have any issues when you purchased through, or did you transfer your Safemoon into gate IO?
Oh no, I haven't bought. A couple of my friends bought through Gate.io, and they're in Canada. Um,
Uh,
like I said, I use Bitmart for mine. I haven't transferred it to that. So that's very interesting.
yeah, just that when I cooked, I was able to actually type in Safemoon. I guess it was a glitch in the matrix, but allowed me to type it in, and it came up with an error, uh, unable to purchase in your region. So,
Jeremiah, do you have
yeah,
any ideas on that one?
Yeah. So are you in the U.S.?
yes.
So Gate.io is, I believe, similar to, or was for the longest time similar to Binance in the same restrictions where they weren't supporting U.S. customers.
Oh,
Um,
we've bought on
and
Gate.io
then
though.
yeah,
I just didn't
and
buy
then
Safemoon.
as this year, I believe, they fast tracked to be able to support them. And when they did, they only support for certain coins. And usually those are like the bigger ones. Everyone that I know that has purchased SafeMoon has gone through PancakeSwap, and integrated directly with their MetaMask trust wallets,
Okay.
just because it's easier to kind of fight through.
Yeah, I've got the pancake swap thing. Yeah,
Well,
I'll let you know how this thing turns out.
yeah. Jeremiah, if you can kind of walk him through the pancake swap thing, because I know there were some funny things with that one, and I will definitely kind of send you my way through with how we did it with Bitmart too. We'll get you there.
I appreciate it. Like I said, I was going to go through Binance pancake swap. I had like there's 7 steps I had to go through.
Yeah, there's a lot
Then
of
like I
steps
said,
here.
yeah,
It's
and then
not easy.
trying to figure out which Binance chip or bit. Sorry, I got like 1,000 pages of notes from this whole endeavor. But couldn't figure out which Binance chip or token you had to buy. It's like either black and gold or like a white and black token. I couldn't figure out which one that was. You had to buy to swap over.
Yeah, so the thing that made this difficult is that right in the middle of Safemoon launching, PancakeSwap was moving from V1 to V2. So they were also like moving all of their tokens from from one Binance Smart Chain to another.
Hmm.
So like so in the middle of people trying to purchase SafeMoon, they were also having to juggle and make sure that they were like logging into the right version of PancakeSwap because PancakeSwap was defaulting to version 2, but SafeMoon was only available on version 1. And the problem with DApps on like the dexes that are running is that and PancakeSwap warns you about this, but it's one of those things where you have to be really careful, read, cover your ass, that type of thing, where anyone can throw up a coin and they can call it Safemoon, and then you dump a bunch of money into it, and then they just walk away with all of it, and you get trash from it. So,
Right.
so it's definitely like it's not as nice as something like Gate.io or one of the major exchanges where you're just like throwing in a known currency or fiat even and spitting out the crypto that you want. It's much more complex and convoluted, and that's it's what happens in the early stages of crypto, right? We're just dealing with the growth, the pain of growth, and figuring it all out. So,
Yeah, no
um,
worries. Like I said, I just might open a VPN, go through Europe or someplace, and go that route. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
But I appreciate this.
I just looked at the Gate.io trouble, like their support um, site, just to double check, and they do say that they are fully supporting USA, Canadian, and Japanese users at this time, but some of the services are limited, specifically lending, margin trading, and the ability to trade some coins. So apparently, SafeMoon is in that group.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna leave y'all with this one. What my dad taught me before he died, and I didn't understand it until like 9 years after his death. He always used to say, why are you sweating the small stuff? Are you ready to run out of sweat? Because we always preface, I'm not ready to run out of sweat yet. So it is what it is.
Well, and I think
I like that. I like that.
Can't Stop had something for you too.
I was gonna say, so I bought my Safemoon on Trust Wallet. I think the way to get around that, instead of typing up the name because a bunch of different Safemoons pops up, you copy the contract code from Coin Market Cap or something. You just copy that contract number, and when you put it in the search bar in Trust Wallet, it'll pop up, and then you do the whole pancake swap thing. But it's pretty easy. It's like 3 steps to do it on there. That's it.
You said it was
Yeah, I think
Coinbase?
no, it's the Trust Wallet MetaMask, I imagine, right?
Yes, I think that's what he's
Yeah.
referring to. Can't Stop.
So
Can you walk write down those steps and send it to AU that you did for Trust Wallet and PancakeSwap?
Yeah, I could do that.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I'm following you
it.
now, though. I can't stop.
I love it. This is so great. This is what we're here for, guys. This is what we're here for. We try to help as much as we can. As many brains as it takes, right? All right, guys. That is it for tonight. I'm sad that nobody wanted to come plug their NFTs. I've been enjoying watching everyone's NFTs. But if you do have anything fun, tag me in it. Or if you see anything cool, tag me in it and I will retweet it out. Because I definitely enjoy helping the NFT group. And if you find any cool cryptos, let me know too, because I will definitely look into them. So, all right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. We are doing broad market, and you guys know I can talk for hours on that. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.